Well, a very, very good morning. Although it's not really much of a good morning, is it? Let's be honest. Where's the logo? Let's put the logo on. Where's the logo cover? There we go. A very good morning to you all, West Ham fans. It's Sunday, and it's a bit of a debrief, quick debrief from the car. I don't know if it's become a regular thing, but yeah, after yesterday's game, we were obviously all the noise coming out of the club were we were going to take decisive action. We were not going to kick the can down the road and all that type of stuff. If there was a defeat in the Crystal Palace game, which obviously there was, and yet no decision has been made. There still hasn't been any announcement. There's been no corner flag picture about the tenure of David Moyes. Give it up, Russ. Let it go. Of Graham Potter's tenure at West Ham. And I think Jacob Steinberg said yesterday or last night that he would be sacked if results didn't turn themselves round. Read reports that maybe he's going to be given the next two games as well, which is kicking the can down the road, surely. I think personally, part of the reason why there has been this lack of decisiveness in giving Potter the heave ho is, according to reports, a board split in terms of who is next in line. Very similar to what happened when Potter came in. Sullivan was unsurprisingly more geared towards the more well, the older manager. There was Stefan Gutierrez and a couple of other sort of more senior type statesmen, where we know that Baroness Brady and partly her husband, who's mates with Potter, suggested that Potter would be the man for the change. And that seems to be the case now, with the board again split in terms of who is best suited to take over from Graham Potter, with apparently the Brady camp favouring Nuno Espirito Santo, and by Calling's reports, Sullivan favoured a move for a return to Slaven Bilic. If you go back and listen to the interview we did with him, he was always quite complimentary of the ownership, and I just although for me it does seem that in terms of, I mean, I prefer Nuno over a Salthouse Gary O'Neill, for example, who is also being linked with the role. Although, as I said yesterday, there was a knicker flashing interview by for the Independent, I think it was yesterday, from Rafa Benitez, saying that he would like to return back to the Premier League one time. And so, if ever there's if there's an owner who's always wanted to get Rafa Benitez, it's been David Sullivan. So I wouldn't be surprised to see his name be entered into the hat. For me, Nuno is wasn't a foregone conclusion. Information that I received was although there was productive meeting on Thursday, the Friday meeting wasn't as productive, and by the sounds of it, if then we are just getting the vibes that Brady wants him and Sullivan doesn't, then that would make that information I was given pretty much, it would tally up. And obviously, one of the major reasons, I think, in terms of why Nuno is probably less favoured by David Sullivan is Nuno, and that's one of the reasons why he left Nottingham Forest, was he has his own network of agents, mainly Jorge Mendes, who is, he's Salthouse, for example, and that may well put the nose out of joints of some of Sullivan's friends, the likes of the agents, like Salthouse and stuff. So that could be possibly. Whereas Bilic, by all accounts, and again, listen to the interview. You can listen to some of the stuff there, because Sullivan presented Dimitri Payet to Bilic. Bilic didn't buy Payet. Sullivan was offered him, and that to me seems the easier path of resistance in terms of getting players that he wants into the squad, which we know that will be a detrimental effect of the team, in terms of progression and in terms of moving forward. But I don't think it's a it's set in stone that Nuno will be in charge. And if he is, he has negotiated himself one hell of a contract, I think, to yeah, we'll leave it like that. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. As I said, decisive action would have said he would have gone last night. And the great thing is, we, you know, in a weird way, we've got time. We do have some extra time on our hands for a new manager to come in before the Everton game. We don't play till the Monday, so we've got the weekend. We've got the whole week. If you got the right person at the right time, but we know we won't do. I mean, look at when we brought in bloody Potter. You know, he was given one training session before his first game in the FA Cup, and then we got knocked out of the FA Cup. Yeah, frustrating. You know, when we're told we're making decisive actions, we're not going to be kicking the can down the road, and then in the next breath, it seems we are. Anyway, any news, we'll bring it to you as soon as we can. Don't forget to like, comment, share all that good stuff. Thank you for all the lovely comments and even not so lovely comments, because you know everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So thank you for the interaction over the last couple of days. And yeah, we'll speak soon. Much love, my friends. Have a lovely Sunday. Don't let West Ham ruin it. Much love.